let's get started. Hi, everybody. Looks like this isn't connected. So, last time we learned about calculating percentages, and today we're going to expand upon that, specifically with doing percent increase and decreases. So, let us begin. Ooh, that's a tough word. Oh, pardon my yawn. All right. Agronomists are studying how quickly the population of an invasive species of the beetle will increase in a controlled farm setting. They calculate that the population is increasing at a steady rate of 6%. So we're increasing at 6% per week. Okay. At the beginning of the week, the population is 350 beetles. So, find the population a week later by finding it's 6% of 350. So, as I said on Tuesday, there's two different ways to calculate percentages. There's a longer way and then there's a shorter way. So, part A is going to be the longer way, which I'm just going to show you once, just so you know that the longer way and the shorter way actually give us the same answer. So, the longer way would do, so 6%, we got to turn that into a decimal by moving it over twice. So we're going to do 0.06 times our population of 350, and we get 21. But that's not my answer because I want to know what the actual population is going to be. So we've got to add it on to get 371. So that's the longer way. The shorter way, which is first step you technically don't have to write, but I'm just going to write it so you know where my number came from, is you have to do 100%. We're increasing by 6%. So we're really looking at 106% of the population. So the part that I would want to see from you is what I'm going to write in blue. All you would really have to do is 1.06 times 350. And we still get that same 371. So the green isn't wrong, it's valid, but this way in blue just happens to be shorter. And it's going to be the piece that we need when we start getting into exponential functions. So this blue way is one I really want you to try and get comfortable with. All right, so why does this work is the other part of the question. So, not green. So this works because, I'm just going to abbreviate that, the population is ending at 106% of what we started. So either way you look at it, it's 106%. You do 6% plus the original. So remember, the original is technically like our 100%. So we're still adding it on. That 6% is the 21. So it's still the same thing. I just like doing it the shorter method. All right, so it says, what will be the population after 2 weeks? Well, if it's 6% each week, we just have to do that 106% again, but of the new number. So we're going to take our 1.06 and we're going to multiply it by the previous week's answer. And we get 393.26, but I can't have part of a beetle. That's not possible. So we're going to say about 393. So we just have to do that twice. Okay, so let's just try some straight up increasing and decreasing, and eventually you might be able to do some of these in your head. Oh, let's see who's on. I've got Andrew, I've got Dylan, and I'm not sure who the other one is. So hello, thanks for joining. So these are the really important ones that I want to make sure you get written down. So remember, increasing, we're going to be adding it to 100%, and decreasing, we will subtract from 100%. But 100% is your original, so we always have to start with that amount. So increase this number, 440, by 12%. So as I said before, we have 100% plus 12% to give us 112%. But remember, you don't have to show that step if you don't want to. And I'm fine if you don't. If you like showing it, by all means, go nuts. And then we've got to move our decimal place over twice. So we have to do 1.12 times our 440. And what do we get? We get 492.8. So for these, I'm not going to round because I don't know what it's measured in. It could be dollars. I don't really know. It doesn't specify. So we're going to leave it as the exact answer. The reason I rounded the last one is because we were talking about a population of bugs, and I can't have part of a bug. That would be really weird. So there's no unit specified. Just leave it as it is. All right. Next, increase 68 by 8%. So again, you would take 100% plus 8% to get 108%. We are going to move our decimal place over twice. So we're going to get 1.08 times 68 to get us a value of 73.44. I should probably box these in. There we go. And then one more. So 100% plus, we got a decimal one. Nice. 3.5% is 103.5%. We still are going to move that decimal over twice. So now we have 1.035 times 120. And what do we get? 124.2. So, and again, that part that I wrote in that navy-ish color, that is really all the work I need to see. I don't need to see what I wrote in that purpley pink color. If you want to, again, you're more than welcome to. All right. Let's do another real-life example. Adriana has a savings account that promises to increase her balance by 2.5% per year. That's nice. If she deposits $720 at the beginning of the year, which of the following would be her balance at the end? So, remember the original we start with is always going to be 100%, and we're increasing, so I'm going to add it to that 2.5%. So we're really looking at 102.5% from what we started with. Then we move our decimal over twice. So we're going to take 1.025, multiply it by 720, and we get about $738. So that looks like choice 3. Awesome. Okay. So let's try. So those were increasing ones. Let's look at some decreasing ones. All right. I'm going to change my highlighter color. Dark green is just such an ugly highlighter color. All right. A cup of coffee is cooling down such that the temperature is decreasing at a constant rate of 8% per minute. Let's say the coffee starts at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So for this one, we're going to do the long way and the short way again, just so you can see that they are equivalent. Okay, so we'll start with the long way. The long way is to first take 8% of 200, so 0.08. That's a weird 0. And multiply it by 200. To get 16. But that's not our answer. And part of the reason I don't like the long way is because you guys will do one step and be like, I'm done. Like, no, you're not done. And then we're going to be subtracting it off because we were decreasing. So 200 minus that 16 will be, we're left with 184 degrees Fahrenheit. Which makes sense. If it's decreasing per minute, like, it's not going to cool down that fast. So, there we go. So, that's the long way. or the way that we need to get used to, is what we're going to be doing in part B. So doing it in kind of a single step. So how do I get my decimal? We always start with 100% because that's our original. And because we're decreasing, we're going to take away the 8%. So we're really left with just 92%. And then we just take that percent, we turn it into a decimal, and we multiply it by our original amount, and we still get 184 degrees Fahrenheit. So again, this is the way that I am going to have you guys start writing it for when we're doing exponential functions next week. Okay. So what will the temperature be after 2 minutes? So we're just going to do that same thing again. We're still decreasing at 8% per minute, so we're just going to take that 0.92 and multiply it by our result. And that is going to be 169.28, but it said to round to the nearest degree. So we're going to say about 169 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. So decreasing by a certain percent is an important skill to be fluent with as well. It is often harder because we have to think about what percent remains. But it's still the same process as we were doing before. Increasing, we add the percent. Decreasing, we subtract. So it's really the same thing. Same process, at least. So, let's try another example. The enrollment of students at a school is decreasing by 5% per year. What percent remains? So if your original is 100% and we're decreasing, so we take away the 5%, we're really left with 95% is remaining. So if the population at this school is 2,300, we have to take 0.95, because remember we got to move that decimal over twice. Okay, and multiply it by our population, and we get something smaller. We get 2,185. So you'll know you're doing these right, or at least on the right path, because if we're decreasing, we know our answer should be smaller, and we did get an answer that was smaller. So that's how you can kind of gauge yourself to see if you're doing these correctly. All right, so 6 is just decreasing practice, just like we did at the top of the other page. So we did do 100% minus whatever they give us. So if I do 100% minus 10%, that means I'm left with 90%. So we're going to take 0.90 times that 620, and we get 558. Let me change colors here because I'm getting squishy. Decrease by 8%. So again, we will do 100% minus 8%. So we get 92%. We just move our decimal over twice. Times 2250. This one is cash money. So they did give us a nice little unit there. So we get $20.70. Okay. Then the last one, decreased by 3.5%. So we have 100% minus 3.5%. What does that give us? 96.5%. We still have to move that decimal over twice. So we're going to have 0.965 times 122. And we get 117.73. Okay. One more question, then we're done. So the cost of gasoline has decreased by, how much is it? By 4.5%. If it started at $3.80 per gallon, which of the following is the price after the decrease? Well, if I look at those choices, you can see the choice 4 is higher, so that one obviously can't be it. You can just eliminate that one right off the bat. But if I want to solve this systematically, we're going to do 100% minus 4.5%. to get 95.5% is going to be remaining. So we move our decimal over twice. We get 0.955 times $3.80. And we get 3.629, but since this is cash money, got to round to the hundredths. So 3.63, which is going to be choice 1. So hopefully those look familiar from, when you're in middle school, 7th grade specifically. If you need help, I have my office hours from 10 to 11, Monday through Thursday. And your homework for this assignment will be numbers 1 through 4, right? Let me check, just to be safe. Go to the Files tab, Class Materials, Homework and Video Info, and I scroll. Yes, numbers 1 through 4 on the notes page. So it's really just the front page. And make sure you're looking back at your notes in this video because they're pretty much the same thing. If you have a fraction like example E, remember that's really like 6.5%. So those fractions just turn into decimals and then solve accordingly. So hope you have an awesome day, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Before I get off, so your weekly grade is comprised of your 2 assignments that I assign on Tuesday and Thursday. So your weekly grade will be on the homework that was due today that I assigned on Tuesday, as well as this homework that's due on Monday. So make sure you just email me a picture of it or come join me live in my office hours. You can turn it in either way. So yeah, any questions, send me an email, join me on Zoom. Have a great day.